What is that? You
Not
smell
me.
that? What is that?
Must be the weekend.
I think it smells like the weekend. Yeah, and that's a beautiful, beautiful smell, isn't it? It kind of smells like lavender. Hi, everybody. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Friday, the 19th day of October, 2018. Dan Kuntz, your host. Steve Hare, news guy to my immediate left. A very colorful cat in control today.
Very much so.
She's got that ray of sunshine going about her, bouncing off the walls, feeling good. I'm feeling good. Weekend's almost here. I know you got big plans this weekend, Steve. Big plans?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big game. Big game.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for this weekend.
Yeah, the crew of the ESPN is going to be out over in Pullman for college game day. And
I'm going to DVR the whole thing.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Just to do it.
You may see some Wenatchee faces in the crowd.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They think they could have the biggest crowd they've ever had for a college game day.
Yeah, plan for it, folks. If you're planning any travel over to Pullman on Saturday, there could be quite a bit of traffic.
Mm-hmm. And then they take on the Oregon Ducks on Saturday night. It's going to be a great game. A busy show for today. Lots of things going on. First of all, a huge volleyball match last night between Wenatchee and Eastmont at the Wenatchee High School Gymnasium. There was 215 points scored between the two teams. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll just say that there was just a lot of points. We got highlights from an epic over 2-hour match between the Wildcats and the Panthers coming up. Also, we'll preview the weekend in prep sports action. We got high school football tonight. The Eisenhower Cadets are in town to take on the Eastmont Wildcats. We'll have that game live for you at Wildcat Stadium. Let's see, we don't have the obscure holiday today because there isn't one, and I'll get to that in a minute. We have Today in History. We got birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. And coming up in the second half of the program, the Wenatchee School District and the Wenatchee School Board has begun the search to replace Brian Flonis, who after 19 years at the helm of the school district is going to be hanging up the old spurs at the end of the year, and they have begun that process, and they want the public to be involved. And in that order, Sarah Knox, who's a vice president of the school board this year.
That's right.
And Diana Haglund, who's the communications director for the Wenatchee School District, will be live in the studio coming up in the second half of the program. We have a very nice weather forecast, but we predicted this. Air stagnation advisory is now in effect. Now, I did look at the Washington State.
Stage 1.
Yeah, it's we looked at the Washington State Department of Ecology's air monitor site, the one that we hate so much in August and September. We're okay right now, but basically it's something that's been building up for a while, but that high pressure dome, that ridge, is very strong and it's starting to flatten out a little bit, so the smoke is not going as high. The smoke is hitting the lid and it's coming right back down again, especially this time of the day when most people who have wood-burning stoves have them up and running.
Well, it was very, very noticeable when I was going out of the car this morning. You can smell the smoke in the air. So definitely there is an inversion.
Yeah, and it goes until 10 o'clock Tuesday. It's gonna be hanging around for a while. There is a change in the weather. What's that?
Then the rain heads.
I don't know. We'll talk about that when we get to the weather forecast here in just a little bit.
I'll predict it, okay?
On it. Go ahead. You can.
I'll predict it.
Good.
It's going to rain.
What else we got for you? How about some cameras around the valley? Let's do that. Let's see what we got.
If you say so.
There you go. And that gives you a pretty good idea of the air stagnation advisory that's going on right now. We're still 20 minutes officially from sunrise. That's our cross camera, of course. It's been moved just a little bit, but it's kind of hazy. We had some filtered sunshine yesterday afternoon, which was not in the forecast. They were expecting some high, thin clouds, but they were a little bit lower than anticipated. In fact, we only hit 62 on Thursday. That was about 6 degrees cooler than they were anticipating, but still no complaints about the weekend weather forecast that's coming up. Thank you, Kat, for kicking things off with that beautiful shot of the Wenatchee Valley. Camera 2, oh, that's got to be Moses Lake. Is that?
Black Mountain.
Yes, I was joking about Moses Lake.
Is this a new camera?
This is the one that we've done a couple of times. Okay. This is the one that's above the Beshaston area on a ridge way above
and there you can actually see the smoke there that's kind of lingering there.
And that's Leavenworth. That's down there. You can kind of sort of make it out. By the way, they're having a big celebration this weekend in Leavenworth. I
think it's week 3 of the Oktoberfest.
Yes, the final week of the Oktoberfest, which I will not be able to attend, I'm afraid. Good shot there. That camera's way up there, isn't it? Camera 3, what do we got? This is a brand new camera, and so let's figure this out, Steve. Okay, I got it. That's Moses Lake.
No, I don't think so.
So let's think about this for just a little bit.
Well, what county are we in?
No, wait a minute here. That looks like that might be Lake Chelan in the far, far distance. So
Okay.
now we have to play the guessing game. Kat's not giving us any hints at all. There's cars on the road. That's not Moses Lake. That's Soap Lake. Maybe Ephrata. Where are we, Kat? I give up. Oh, it's McNeil
Oh.
Canyon. Wow, okay. Probably the very top
In
of
Douglas
McNeil Canyon.
County.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the very
just,
top of McNeil Canyon there. So yeah, that's when right before you get to the BB Bridge, you either head up McNeil Canyon or head on over the Columbia River. That's a great shot. Thank you, Kat.
That is neat.
Wow, let's bookmark that baby. And camera 4, are we 5? Where are we? This is a new camera. Okay, Steve, we have to guess again. I'm seeing a body of water.
I'm lost.
Well, you're always lost. It's pointing to the east because that's where the sun's coming up. I see a road. I'll say Hoquiam.
Hoquiam.
Okay, we're calling the camera Columbia View. That's the Columbia River. Where it's at, it's north of Chelan. Okay. Oh, okay.
Interesting, okay.
Okay. North of Chelan on your way up to Pateros. I got you. That's the Columbia River. I like that. Good. New cameras.
And we're looking, what, south or north?
I think we're looking east. I'm just looking at where the sun is.
Oh,
Probably
okay, I beg your
north.
pardon, east,
Probably
yeah.
northeast is what we're looking at there. Good stuff. Wow. New stuff, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet. That means where those towers are, Steve, is where you can point a dish and get high-speed internet without fiber. You can live out in the middle of nowhere
We're
and get
all
fiber.
over the place.
We are. We are. We're like a bad head cold. You just can't get rid of us.
Oh, it's kind of like that song in my head that I woke up with this morning.
What was it?
You ever have that? You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
You wake up and you get this song in your head, you just can't get it out.
What was it?
I was telling Kat about it this
Yeah.
morning.
What was it? What was the song?
I hate it. Rock the Casbah.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I love The Clash.
Please
It's
help
not
me
my
get it out of
favorite
my
song.
head.
Rock the Casbah.
Oh, stop,
Rock
stop.
the Casbah. Here's your forecast from the National Weather Service. 68. I don't know. I mean, they've been
Sound like
really
the
optimistic.
Edmund Fitzgerald. To
Yeah.
that.
Oh, taken easy by the Dunserly light. That's my version of the national anthem. They have not been getting to those afternoon highs they've been predicting all week long, Steve. They've been saying, mid to upper 60s. We haven't gotten there yet. I think it might be a combination of the overnight lows and the fact that we do have some high, thin clouds that pay us a visit in the afternoon. But that ridge of high pressure going to persist all the way through the weekend into the early part of next week. We do have that air stagnation advisory. It's in effect now, goes until 10 o'clock on Tuesday, so we could have some dirty air. Right now the air is clean. It could go down to moderate, could even go to unhealthy by Monday and Tuesday, which is something we're unfortunately.
If you're not minding your manners, then.
That's true. There's a weak weather disturbance is going to slam into the ridge on Tuesday, but the National Weather Service says that system is too weak to produce any kind of rain. They say the next chance of rain will probably be Thursday, maybe Wednesday. It's kind of slowed down and it's weakened. The thing that's supposed to knock that high pressure ridge out of alignment, it's kind of taken its sweet time getting here, and it kind of lost a little bit of its mojo, if you will. 8.5 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Steve Hare has the news. What happened on Thursday? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Live this morning from Studio 1 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Localtel. Chelan Chase is this Saturday at Riverwalk Park. Proceeds from this 5K race run walk will benefit hospitals and cancer patients. Also Saturday, the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center will be hosting a free art class from 11 to 12. Learn how to draw using a continuous line like Swiss-German artist Paul Klee. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
The NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life channel is your local TV station.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Welcome back to the program for a Friday. It's our 19th day of October. Here's what's happening around north central Washington. Things got a little interesting in Wenatchee yesterday afternoon. In fact, it was a real close call when a Jeep was struck by a Burlington Northern Santa Fe freight train in Wenatchee. It happened around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon in the Holly Street crossing area. It caused traffic backup and closing streets in that area for a couple of hours. Wenatchee police were reviewing video footage from the train to determine exactly what happened. There were no injuries, luckily, after the female driver bailed out of the vehicle before it was hit by that train. Could have been a lot worse, definitely. Washington State Supreme Court has ruled sentencing juvenile offenders to life without parole is unconstitutional. In a 5-4 decision released Thursday, the state's highest court said sentencing juvenile offenders to life without parole or early release constitutes cruel punishment. The ruling was in connection with a case involving Brian Bassett, who was convicted of killing his mother, father, and 5-year-old younger brother in 1995 when he was 16. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The High Court's ruling upholds an earlier Court of Appeals decision to send Bassett's case to the trial court for resentencing. Also, on the election front, polling results released this week show Initiative 1639, which would impose sweeping new gun regulations in Washington state, is likely to pass in the November 6th election. The cross-cut Elway poll of 400 registered voters done October 4th through the 9th showed 59% in favor and 34% against that measure. Among other things, the measure would raise the minimum age for buying a semi-automatic firearm from 18 to 21 years old and would impose enhanced background checks and a 10-day waiting period for buying such a gun. Also, Initiative 1631, the so-called carbon tax, is polling much closer with 50% in favor, 36% opposed. Initiative 1634, which would ban local taxes on grocery items, had only 31% support in the poll, 51% against. The poll also showed Republican Dino Rossi with a 10-point lead over Democratic opponent Dr. Kim Schreier, 49 to 39%, in that hotly contested 8th congressional district race. Rossi received a big boost in the polling numbers during and after the hearings to confirm Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The poll results, by the way, were reported on the nonprofit news website crosscut.com. Also, a national poll gives Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort high marks when it comes to getting the most for the least amount of money. The website Home to Go researched the cost of resorts across North America and Canada, and Mission Ridge came in 4th among the 50 other ski resorts. The poll factored in the price of ski equipment, food, and accommodations. Aspen Snowmass in Colorado came in as the most expensive at number 50, with a total cost of $448 for one day and a night. Meanwhile, Mission Ridge registered just under $179 a night. Number 1 on the list, Fernie Alpine Resort in British Columbia, Canada, at $178 for equipment, lunch, and a hotel. Also, the first tenants in the Port of Chelan County's new business incubator at Pybus Public Market moved in this week.
Christy and I, my wife and I, we've owned a home here for 10 years, and we've been going back and forth. We have family here, and so it just really turned out to be a great spot to expand, and our team really, loves it. And it's a fun thing. We've done team building events out here, so the Seattle team has been out here a number of different times, and so there's a good connection that's been built up over time. And our team, we've had a few leaders come from Seattle over here, but most of the team that is here, we've been actually hiring locally. So we've got kind of a good mixture there.
The name of the company is Subsplash, a Seattle-based developer of apps and web tools for churches and other faith-based organizations. Still in the early stages of its expansion in Wenatchee, Subsplash CEO Tim Turner is excited about the potential for growth here in the Wenatchee Valley.
There's a number of people who have been getting up and running in the office here. We've got approximately 10 people now, and we're on the path towards hiring upwards of about 20 or so in this office. We would love to be able to continue hiring here and expanding the company and building the workforce here. So, yeah, excited about that.
Subsplash currently has 10 employees, but that will soon grow to 15 and possibly even more. Turner said he has long eyed the Wenatchee area for growing his 10-year-old business.
For the specific roles, we were looking to see, okay, does this area support these specific roles before we opened our office here? And we were pretty sure that was the case. And then we've also been, pleasantly surprised in some of the other areas that we, kind of weren't really anticipating too. So it's been good.
Now, Turner said he's pleased with the skilled labor force he was able to find locally for his business expansion. Subsplash employs about 100 people at its Seattle offices. One final item here, time now for our NCW Life events calendar for the weekend. With that, let's check in with Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The American Red Cross and Confluence Health are holding a blood drive in the local Tell Event Center at Pybus Public Market this Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. To register to donate blood or for additional information, contact redcrossblood.org. Have you ever wondered what the rest of the Wells House, the castle at Wenatchee Valley College, looks like? On Friday and Saturday, visitors are invited to come to an exclusive tour that includes floors usually restricted to the public. The Nooks and Crannies tour allows first-time visitors and those who have previously visited to see the new areas and hidden details while learning more about its history. Small group tours of up to 10 people will be conducted every hour on Friday from 1 to 4 and Saturday from 10 to 3. Tickets are $10 per person and $25 per family, and guests must be 10 years or older. Pre-registration is required. Illuminate Women's Conference is this Saturday at the Wenatchee Convention Center. This will be a day of motivation, empowerment, and pampering for the women in North Central Washington. Participants will hear from exceptional female speakers, enjoy some retail therapy, take time for themselves in the Taking Care of Me spa, get pumped up with DJ Manny, visualize their goals with an interactive vision board, and capture memories with a photo booth. Participants can extend the fun with a VIP experience. The Wenatchee Valley 23rd Annual Toy Ride is this Saturday starting at the Douglas County PUD. Join in for the annual parade to Walmart, where you can buy toys for kids benefiting Wenatchee Court-Appointed Special Advocates, or CASA. Afterwards, there will be a thank you Riders Burger Burn at Jack's Motorsports. All street-legal motorcycles are welcome. Staging is at 9 a.m. and the parade starts at 10 a.m. sharp. And finally, the Chelan Chase is this Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to noon at Riverwalk Park in Chelan. This is a USATF course-certified 5K race, run, and walk. Proceeds benefit the Lake Chelan Community Hospital Mammography Department and the Wellness Place to provide mammograms at no cost to underinsured or uninsured patients, as well as support to North Central Washington cancer patients, including free wigs, nutritional supplements, help with lodging and travel, prescription assistance, and support groups. This event is open to runners, walkers, wheelchairs, strollers, families, and teams. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
There you have it. If you can't find something to do, not our fault. All we can do is promote it, right?
Can I put you down as a reference, Steve?
For what?
Well, I got Sarah Knox and Diana Haglund coming in. They're doing this superintendent search, to replace Brian Flonis. That process has begun. I figured they're here. I might as well do my resume and, hey, throw my hat into the ring. But I need references. Can I put you down as a reference? I'm finishing up now.
What's it worth to you?
I'll make you some cookies.
Hey, there you got it. Okay.
Does that work?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
News guy, Steve Hare. And the last 4 digits of your Social Security number,
there you go. There you
go. The news with Grant Olson, provided that he shows up. Will be at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. It's a busy day for all of us. 5, 6, and 10 will be the news. We got a lot of things on our plate today. We got football tonight, so Grant will be doing double duty. Eric in the sports anchor's chair. Blah, 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 blah. Rock the Casbah. The news will be at 5, 6, and 10. You can also watch it on demand on our website at ncwlife.com, and you can also watch it on our Facebook page late in the afternoon. You want to be a part of the news team? Steve Hare tells you how.
Love to have you on board, folks. If you have any ideas for news stories, or maybe there's an event or a program you want to promote, let us know about it on our website, ncwlife.com. Just click the little tab at the top of the page there. Contact us. Facebook, Twitter, always a good way to communicate. right?
Yeah.
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 He doesn't, but we do.
I've never twitted.
Okay. Twitter, Facebook, good ways to contact us. You can also write to us at our email address, news@ncwlife.com, and our breaking news hotline available to you. If you see it happening, call us at 888-6295.
When did this show go off the rails? As soon as it started, according to Kat.
Rock the Casbah, baby.
Rock the Cat. Well, my resume's done. I hope they'll accept it. Do they do background check? Do they actually check your work history? Do you think?
Well, in Brian's case, they did.
Right. Should I? Because I wasn't. I wrote that I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years, but I really wasn't. Do you think they'll find that out?
No, I moved up here, I think, who was the superintendent? Was it Lehman?
That was, well, that was 1990?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Because I've remained friends with John Gordon, who was another
Okay.
superintendent.
It might have been Mr. Johnson. I can't remember.
Might have been.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
It was. 21 minutes after the hour. We got sports, we got birthdays, we got Today in History. Everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And once again, Sarah Knox for the Wenatchee School Board and Diana Haglund, the Communications Director for the Wenatchee School District. Back half of this show, provided we're not canceled, in the next minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, rocking the Casbah on this Friday on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Live Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel
You
12.
can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Live channel. NCW Live channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Live channel.
And welcome back to this Friday. Let's take a look at sports. For the second time this season and fifth time out of their last 7 meetings, Wenatchee and Eastmont took the full five games to determine a winner in volleyball. And once again, it happened again last night. But for the first time out of those 5 occasions, the Panthers actually picked up the victory. It was an epic 2-hour and 20-minute battle at Wenatchee High School. Wenatchee fighting off one comeback after another by Eastmont in the 5th and deciding game, winning the match, the final 3-2. The Wildcats came out on fire. They won the opening game 25-20. The Panthers got the early jump in game 2. They won that one 26-24. Eastmont regained momentum in game 3, winning 25-22. Then, facing defeat, the Panthers survived a 10-minute in-game delay for reasons that we don't want to get into now. They came out on top of that one, 25-18. So once again, it would go down to the 1st to 15, 5th and deciding game. Wenatchee raced out to an early lead. Looked like they cruised to victory. Then Eastmont came storming back to tie it. They went into extra points. We were there. Leanne Brandon was there. Eric Granstrom was there. Our cameras were there. Here you go.
Who's going to last this one? Ream across. Volley around. Dexter finding the hole. No, there's Eastmont. Osborne, it survived. The fittest happening right now. Who's going to get it? Osborne diving down as Ream. The touch of the net, and into the net goes Dexter, and a point to Eastmont. It's 12-11. To breath here moments ago. Now lungs full. The kill attempt by Dexter. Point to Wenatchee. Ream, Damon, kill attempt for Wiggs. They got it over to points.
This is awesome.
Here's a kill and a block. Nice job by Dexter to counter. Dexter gets it back. It skims off of a finger at the line. They reverse it. Here's the kill by Ream. It's in! Tied at 13! Up to White. Back to Dexter. Blocked.
Ooh.
They let that go.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that was
debatable.
4 hits on Wenatchee. Now, the little touch by Janae Wiggs. Touch of the net by Lauren Clark. It got over. Now they're going to set it up. Damon reverses it. There's Rhyme again going down the line. It's in!
Wow.
14-13. How about this comeback by Eastmont?
Absolutely, and I really appreciate Eastmont's assistant coach over here, this male. He is happy and in it. I love it.
Could be game points. Damon, service, across, Wolf down, to White, to Dexter, falling down Vauchon. They scramble, they get it across. Back line it goes. White up front, and it's deep, and I think that may have been out. Vauchon scrambling for it, and we're tied again at 14. Service for Lily Dexter. Across, Vaughn is there. Now Vauchon, now Ream. Got it across to Dexter. White with the kill attempt at the net, and it's in! Dexter on the service. Across, Vaughn is there to Damon. Reverses it, and it's a point for Wenatchee, and the Panthers will win it 16-14. They come back.
Yeah, it was exciting. And with the win, Wenatchee and Eastmont are now tied for second in the Big Nine standings. Let's take a look at the Les Schwab scoreboard. From the other volleyball action from last night, Chelan blanked Cashmere, Brewster topping Manson, and Waterville Mansfield got the win on the road at Orville. On the Les Schwab soccer scoreboard, Wenatchee has been bumped out of first place in the Big Nine. Panthers fell on the road in overtime at West Valley last night. The final was 2-1. Coach John Springer tells us Olivia Bowman scored the Panthers' lone goal on an assist by Jaden Griggs. Meanwhile, Jaden Brown scored the only goal for Eastmont in the final 2 minutes of regulation as the Wildcats edged Davis 1-0. Eastmont moves into first place. They have 26 points. Wenatchee is tied with Moses Lake, who blanked Sunnyside last night 7-0 at 24 points apiece. Another action, Cashmere topped Chelan Brewster, a 3-1 winner against Manson. Coming up tonight on the NCAA Live Channel, our featured game of the week, the Eastmont Wildcats welcome the Eisenhower Cadets to Wildcat Stadium tonight. Wildcats are 3-0 in Big Nine play, 6-1 overall. The Cadets are 3-4 overall, 1-2 in league play. They have the second best offense in the conference, by the way. So, Eastmont head coach Michael Don, what can he expect from Eisenhower tonight?
We don't know. Honestly, they've gone a week where they've thrown 10 passes, they've thrown 45 passes, they've thrown 39 passes. You really don't know what you're going to get. Running back, we do know the running back, we're going to get a heavy dose of the running back. He's averaging 30 carries a game. Has had some big games early in the year in their non-league schedule, but he's still been consistent, 30-some carries, about 100 and some yards every week, and they got a big senior-laden offensive line, and so we expect a good match.
Pre-game, 6:45 tonight. Eric Grandstrom and Grant Olson with the call. They'll kick it off at 7 o'clock. The Panthers are on the road. They're taking on the Sunnyside Grizzlies tonight. We saw in last week's game, the Sunnyside Eastmont game, that the Grizzlies like to be aggressive up front defensively, and Panther head coach Scott Devereaux says he hopes that's the case tonight.
We've prepped a lot against picking up the blitz, and we've got some wrinkles in our offense that are going to help us. Some things that we have not shown all season. So I hope they blitz. They're going to blitz and make some plays occasionally, but we have some things ready. So we are ready for them. They like to bring the both backers A and B gaps, and I hope they do.
Panthers are led by sophomore quarterback Camden Searman. He says there's no time now to look at the standings. They still got work to do, and he feels the Panthers need to maintain a certain attitude.
Hungry and confident, not cocky. There's no reason for this team to be complacent with wins. Like I said, last year being 3-7, these guys have never beaten Sunnyside. They've never beaten Moses Lake. They've never beaten West Valley. There's a lot of things we have to do first before we can say we're league champs. We have 2 more big games. So just trying to keep it. We're hungry. We're hungry.
Wenatchee at Sunnyside, 7 o'clock kickoff tonight. There are other Rock'em Sock'em football wars in the high school gridiron tonight. Cashmere and College Place, that's a 6 o'clock kickoff. In Cashmere, Cascade hosts Okanagan. Chelan is at Omak. That's a 7. B play. Antioch is at Odessa, and Waterville Mansfield will host Yakima Tribal. On the weekend prep schedule, soccer finds Manson hosting Orville. Tenascus at Chelan. It's 11 a.m. And at the Wenatchee High School pool, Panthers are hosting Walla Walla, Richland, and Hanford, starting at 11 a.m. For something a little different this weekend, the Central Cascade Pop Warner cheerleaders are hosting the Inland Northwest Cheerapalooza. It happens Sunday at Eastmont High School. Over 100 cheerleaders aged 5 to 13 will compete Sunday starting at 10 a.m. There will be 6 divisions of competition for the young cheerleaders and a demonstration cheer by both the Eastmont and Wenatchee High School cheerleading squads. It's all Sunday, starts at 10 a.m. at Eastmont High School. It's a nominal fee to attend. And there's some of the gals from last week's game at Sunnyside learning how to be a cheerleader. The Wenatchee Wild have Merit in town. A couple of games this weekend at the Town Toyota Center. Tonight is Rocktoberfest. Tomorrow is Diaper Drive that they ask you to bring new diapers, not used diapers, please. The Wild are struggling in the early season. They're 6-6-1. They're currently in a four-way tie for fourth in the interior division of the BCHL, but of course it's early. A lot of hockey to play. Coming up tomorrow, let me talk about the college football. The Huskies hoping to bounce back. They got Colorado at Husky Stadium, 12:30 on Fox. Of course, ESPN's College Game Day crew was in Pullman for the first time ever. Washington State at Oregon after 15 years of the Coug flag flying on the set of the show, but will be in Pullman for the first time. The Ducks and the Cougars will kick off at 4:30. Also tomorrow, Simon Fraser is at Central Washington at 6 o'clock. David Price of the Red Sox heading to the World Series again. Price pitched 6 innings of no-run, 3-hit ball, 9 strikeouts. Boston beat Houston 4-1. They are the champions of the American League. They got the pennant. They move on to the World Series. LA will try to join them in the Fall Classic. Game 6 of the National League Championship Series is tonight in Milwaukee. And finally, all week long, we've been paying video tributes to Paul Allen. Yesterday we talked about building CenturyLink Field, but for Paul Allen that wasn't enough. He wanted to build a Super Bowl champion in Seattle, and he did.
The vision starts at the top. Paul Allen wants to win, and to me that fits exactly with the way I think.
Every owner wants to win a championship, and not every owner does. And when he hired Pete Carroll and John Schneider and myself, that's the reason why we came to this community, was to bring a championship to Seattle.
Pete built this team in his own image, a fast, aggressive defense, and a running game with a guy named Beast Mode.
Turn and hand to Lynch, left side. Finds a little bit of a hole, keeps his legs moving. He's across the 40.
I remember just trying to keep up with the call because he was bouncing off of so many people.
He's on the run, Lynch. 40, pushes him at 35. Look at him go. He's down to 20, 15. He could go. Touchdown, Seahawks. Oh, my word.
The Seahawks and the 12th man literally shook the ground in Seattle.
Fans got so loud that it moved the earth.
Not only are there earthquakes in Seattle, but we can cause them ourselves. We are magic. You feel like you're part of this blue and green army. The energy in that stadium, if you could bottle that, you could run a small planet.
It was almost a surreal experience. You knew this team was something special. This coach had put together a defense that we had never seen the likes of in the history of the National Football League. And yet a quarterback who could make plays up and down the field.
We have the best home field advantage in the National Football League. It's because of our fans, our amazing, loud, crazy fans.
You're super tired and you're like, I can't go anymore. And all of a sudden, you see the fans jumping up and down, and all of a sudden your spirits start to rise. It inspires you to keep going, and you're like, okay, maybe I could do this for one more play.
Nobody wanted to come here and play the Seahawks. Certainly not the 49ers.
Shotgun for Kaepernick, takes the snap. Looks, fires near side, going for the end zone. Rolls, it's picked off in the end zone. The Seahawks intercept in the end zone. Holy smoke!
It's almost like we willed that thing to happen. That venue can do that.
That was a real moment, because you realize right then, we're going.
Holy catfish! We are going to New Jersey! Listen to the 12th man. You'd think we were in Seattle. And the ball goes into the end zone. The Seahawks are on the board. Completely over. Let's finish the year off right. We'll play the time now, okay? Yeah, tight. The throw. The ball caught by Palmer. Makes one man miss. Dives underneath. He's in. Touchdown! Seahawks! They are blowing the roof off this place in New Jersey. Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? I got him. Your Seahawks, Super Bowl 48 champions.
The most fun for me was being able to say, "You're Seahawks Super Bowl champs." because that's shared with the entire community.
Unbelievable, man. Every phase of the game.
The Seahawks delivered on their promise, and it was, I'm gonna faint.
One of the best things about it was seeing how gratified Paul was, how proud he was holding that Lombardi trophy. He had made it happen.
One last footnote on Paul Allen. In his will, he stipulated that if his heirs sell the team has to remain in Seattle. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Friday morning. It's 36 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today. I got nothing. That's okay. No, we don't really have one. There's like 4 websites I consult, and there isn't one. Make your own holiday today. We'll move forward to today in history. The actual day that the Revolutionary War ended is kind of today, I guess, October 19th, 1781. 237 years ago in Yorktown, Virginia, representatives of British Commander Lord Cornwallis, Lord himself didn't show up, handed over his sword and formally surrendered to George Washington after the last major land battle of the American Revolutionary War. The war wasn't exactly over, but at this point, Great Britain said, okay, we give up. We'll start negotiating and maybe we can get this baby over with. Popular support for the war in Great Britain went right into the toilet after this event happened. So if there's an exact date that the Revolutionary War ended, there really isn't one, but it's about as close as we can get. On this date, October 19th, 1781, and October 19th, 1944, 74 years ago today, MacArthur returned to the Philippines. The United States forces land in the Philippines and began to liberate that country, fulfilling General Douglas MacArthur's promise in 1942 that they would come back and free the Philippines from Japanese rule, and that process began on this date 74 years ago today. And finally, we got some birthdays. We all know him as Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch. Robert Reed, the American actor, was born in this state in 1932. The role was originally the role of Mike Brady was offered to Gene Hackman. Robert Reed was the second choice on that. He was a classically trained, very serious, very professional actor, and he hated his role. He hated playing Mike Brady. He admitted later he did it for the money. He didn't even like his character, but he did it anyway, and he got so sick and tired of the Brady Bunch, by the end of the Brady Bunch, he thought the show was nonsense, that he didn't even appear in the final episode of the Brady Bunch. He didn't even bother to show up to work, but he was still a great actor and a great guy, Robert Reed, who died in 1992 at the age of 59. John Lithgow has got a lot of awards on his mantle, 2 Tony Awards, 6 Emmy Awards, a couple of Golden Globes, a couple of Screen Actor Guild Awards. He's been nominated for 2 Academy Awards. He's one of my favorites. John Lithgow is 73 years old today. Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live fame in some movies as well. He lived in Bainbridge Island, by the way, graduated from Bainbridge Island High School back in 1989. Chris Kattan, funny guy, is 48 years old today. 38 minutes after the hour, everybody's entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And then Sarah Knox and Diana Haglund will be joining me. The Wenatchee School District needs a new superintendent, or will anyway. That process has begun. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. There's something for all ages at Wenatchee Valley Mall. No matter what the weather, the kids will have fun in one of the many play areas around the mall. Sign your kids up for fun adventures and super specials when they join the Kids Club. It's a great time for kids and an even better time out for parents. Check out specials and events 24/7 at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. It's your Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come shop today.
Turn back the clocks and grab the ice melt. Winter weather is here. This is Corey at Rose Tractor. If you're looking for a reliable way to clear snow, look no further than Cub Cadet. For sidewalks and driveways, a Cub Cadet snow thrower will get the job done in a jiffy. For larger jobs, a Cub Cadet Challenger utility vehicle with a snow blade will handle about anything. You can depend on Cub Cadet for years of reliable performance, and we'll help you select the best model for your job at Rose Tractor. family-run business at the corner of 3rd and Rock Island Road in East Wenatchee.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Life is about memories and lasting impressions. With Boswell's expansive 2-story showroom of quality home furnishings, you'll find everything you need to create a home to remember. Need assistance? From fabric options and complimentary design service to complete home makeovers, Glenn, Buffy, and Teresa are there to guide you. Come into Boswell's and find inspiration and comfort for every room in your home. Boswell's on Easy Street. It's closer than you think.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Leavenworth Oktoberfest. Fall is in the air and so is the aroma of sizzling bratwurst. It's time once again for the Leavenworth Oktoberfest. Enjoy 3 full weekends of fun for everyone. Your thirst will be satisfied with a variety of authentic German beer, and your hunger will be filled with German brats right off the grill. The sounds of Oompa will be delivered in 4 venues with live non-stop entertainment. For information or to purchase tickets, go on to leavenworthoktoberfest.com.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, some time ago, my granddaughter did something to her little brother that she needed to apologize for. I asked her to say, "I'm sorry," and she wouldn't do it. She would not apologize. Now, we're all like that. We hate to say we're sorry because we think by doing so, we're admitting we did something wrong. Now, how about, though, when you're having a problem with somebody, try saying, "I'm sorry," not meaning that you screwed up or anything, but simply because you're sorry there's a problem. Now, lots of times I've apologized to someone by saying, "I'm sorry we're having a problem. Can we work it out?" And in doing so, this helped repair a relationship. Now, hey, just try it sometime. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
This is State Representative Kerry Kandata inviting you to watch our new and improved 12th District 2.0 show. Now featuring more information on federal, state, and local issues in a leaner, faster format. Guest hosts John Wise and Shiloh Shower bring it all home with yours truly, Kerry Kandata. Why do we call it 2.0? Because just like me, it's the stronger, faster, and lighter version of today's politics. Also available on demand at ncwlife.com.
Only one country could build a truck like this. Designed in California, engineered in Michigan, tested in Arizona, and assembled in Mississippi. Powered by Cummins of Indiana. The all-new Nissan Titan. It's an American classic. Is it on your list? Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
We're back on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. After 19 years, which is a long time to be the superintendent of a very large school district, Brian Flonis announced a few months ago that he would be moving on to do something else at the end of this upcoming school year, which means that the Wenatchee School District, 7,500 students, teachers, staff, administrators, the head dude, they need a new one, and that process has begun. And here to talk about the process of getting a new superintendent for the Wenatchee School District. To my immediate left, she's been on this show before. She's the communications director of the Wenatchee School District. She actually wears a lot of hats, Diana Haglund. And to the far left is a member of the Wenatchee School Board, Sarah Knox, making her debut on this program.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. We'll start out with you because you're new. You've been you were sworn in, I'm trying to remember, November,
Correct.
December, something like
November
that?
of last year.
So you're into the gig a little bit. Was it what you expected when you ran for the school board, now that you're in the position?
In some ways, absolutely. I think I wasn't quite prepared for the superintendent search. I was hoping that, we would have more time with Brian, and so he just is doing a wonderful job, and I'm glad that he gets to he gets to choose when he wants to leave, which was very sad for us. But so I was not anticipating leading helping lead a superintendent search with less than a year into the school board seat, but so far it's been wonderful, and I'm learning so much.
For those who don't remember, why did you run to begin with for the position on the school board?
I love our schools. I grew up here, and I was a teacher, and I have my master's in elementary education, and I just want to be a part of what's happening, and I want to be able to help our community. So.
We'll use a grading analogy here. I love metaphors. A to F, the Wenatchee School District overall. What's the grade, teacher?
Oh goodness! Oh, I mean A+.
Okay.
But I think I think we're doing wonderful things. But I think that any organization always has room to grow, and that there are always new challenges, always new opportunities. And so I think I don't want to say that we're not doing wonderfully, but there's always a chance to improve, a chance to grow, a chance to try new things. And so I think we're doing wonderfully, but there's still room for improvement.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, good
How
morning.
are you? It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
This is a long, drawn-out process, and it needs to be. This is a terribly important job. In fact, it's one of the, I would go out to say, it's probably one of the half dozen most important jobs in the Valley. It's certainly a high-profile job, so this is, you guys are taking this very seriously.
Certainly.
Yeah. Walk us through now, and what is it going to be, March of next year when the final decision is going to be made?
That is our hope by mid-March, that we have a candidate that we will announce as being our selection for the next superintendent. It is a very lengthy process, and that's really important that we take our time with this process, we're thorough with this process, and that's really important for Sarah and the rest of our board members, is to really do a deep dive and thorough evaluation on all the potential candidates. So we've hired a search firm to assist us with that process, HYA. They've had over 30 years of experience matching superintendents with school districts. And I think that's a really important point for folks to know, is that you really do have to find the right match for your district. So there's kind of 3 phases of the process, and that includes where we're at right now, which is a lot of community conversations. What do we want our next superintendent to look like, be like? Who is this person? And so really kind of evaluating what some of those leadership qualities are. So we can create a job description of who our ideal candidate is. And then from there, HYA will assist us with going through that search, so really the recruitment phase. They then present us with a slate of candidates, so potential folks that we would look to hire. We then do some interviews with them, and then after that, we're kind of in that mid-March window, and we hopefully have a candidate that we would like to select.
The HYA firm that you, the consultants that you brought on board, what is it, 22 grand is what they're getting paid, which to me is a pretty good deal. Talk about the process, because there's a lot of consulting firms out there all over the country.
Absolutely.
Why did HYA stand out amongst all the consultant groups who said we want to help you out?
Yeah, thank you. So when we sent out the request for proposals, which is what you need to do with a contract this large, and certainly what we would want to do, we had 4 firms respond and they are all wonderful search firms. And we had a hard choice, which one to go with, and just HYA is highly regarded nationally as an exceptional firm, and I appreciate their methods a lot. And but there were great firms, and I just felt like HYA provides a slightly higher level of services in regards to how many community groups they're meeting, the surveys, they have communication hubs, and just they know what they're doing. So I feel so confident in using them to help us with the search.
Was there a bidding process at all, or the budget was whoever we choose gets $22,000 regardless of who they at, or was there, we'll do it for this amount of money, or we're over here and we'll do it for $29,500? Was that kind of, how did that process work?
There were different offers, but they ended up being very similar in pricing when you look at all the different, there are all these things you add on. So other firms that maybe initially had a lower price, then once you add on advertising and background searches and everything, it ended up being a spread of only a couple $1,000s between all the final offers. And so, so in that way, it's a very standard fee. And so the cost wasn't as much part of the consideration just because they were all in the same same cost category.
So HYA is going to do the initial vetting, and how does that communication process work between the board of the district and HYA? So you guys got it for a couple of months and return our phone calls? How does that work on the vetting process that's going on now with HYA?
Yeah, well, right now we're working with the consulting firm to set up community meetings starting next week. We also have an online survey that they've created and they've used across the board for national searches with other school districts. So we're in the process of communicating that out on their behalf, and then all these meetings will be facilitated by the representatives from HYA. They also, as Sarah mentioned, they have a portal that's just for our board where they're sharing information and will continue to do so once we get into more of the interview components of the search. So all of that information will be loaded for the board so that there's really consistent communication. The other thing that's really nice about the firm we're working with is they do have a Northwest representative. Barbara Harris is our person here, and she's located out of Bellingham, so she's kind of in the neighborhood, which is nice. So she's able to get over here and communicates with us pretty regularly. So it's definitely a team effort, but they do have those mechanisms to make sure they're communicating regularly with the board and with us administrative staff.
I've been taking off and on the survey. It's right there online. It's on the school district's website. It's very comprehensive, and it's all opinion based. It's what do you think about this, or how do you feel about that? Yeah. Kind of a survey, which I think is probably the way to do it. I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things. I'm not even a television expert.
No, I'm not an expert in them either. But I think the survey is actually perfect because I would have not been able to respond, especially before I was elected, in regards if the question was, what credentials should a superintendent need, or things like that. Instead, it's really looking at, what are we prioritizing? And by we, I really mean Wenatchee. We need the community's input because the superintendent position, it's a huge position, and it means so much to our valley. And so this point right now, to me, is the most important process because we need to gather information, and that survey, as you said, it's easy because it's opinions, what's going well, what are some things coming down the line that you might be interested in, and what kinds of traits do you want to see in a leader. So it's so that everyone can answer and have opinions.
The process shifts from second to third gear next week. Things really get busy for you guys next week. Walk us through what's happening beginning next week as far as the public starts really getting involved in this process next week.
Absolutely. So as we've mentioned, the survey is live at WenatcheeSchools.org, and so anybody can take that survey, whether you live in East Wenatchee. We want everybody's feedback and opinions. The other opportunity is on Tuesday, the 23rd, from 5:30 to 6:30 at Wenatchee High School. We'll be holding a community forum, and so that's for anybody that wants to come and share their thoughts in person with our consultants from HYA. That'll be a facilitated ed discussion. So, but it's a wonderful time for folks to just come in and share their thoughts so that we can capture that. And from the survey, as well as those forums and community meetings, they're going to develop that job description. So again, this is the community's opportunity to share their thoughts on what they would like our next superintendent to be like. What are those leadership qualities that are most important? And two, as Sarah mentioned, making sure that the person that's coming in next after Brian really understands what are some of our challenges and what are some of our opportunities, so that they really have a good sense of what the whole job entails.
So public input is the biggest, it's huge in this whole process. It's big.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that is the best way to really create that ideal candidate profile. And so we're encouraging everybody to participate in that process.
You can actually even read, if you go to the school district's website, you can read the actual job posting as it was written. It's very well done indeed. So take me into the early part of next. When does HYA say, okay, these are the 4 candidates that we'd like the best? Wenatchee School Board at that point? When does that process, when do you start really narrowing down the finalists and things like that?
I believe it's January. I'm so sorry. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I believe it's
January 22nd.
January 22nd.
Okay.
Really, at our next board meeting, it'll be an opportunity for HYA to present the data that they've collected from the online survey, and as well as these I shouldn't say our next board meeting, November 13th board meeting. Right. That's when they'll present the findings from the survey. So what is that, again, that leadership profile going to look like? And then after that, they start the advertising process. So they start doing the outreach, and we're doing a national search. So we are looking, locally here in the Northwest, but a national search. That's really important to our board, that we really cast a broad net and hopefully attract the right candidate for our position.
Is Brian played any role in all on his successor? Is he just saying it's all yours? I'll return your phone calls.
I hope not. Oh goodness. No, we need his advice, his expertise. He's been doing this job for 19 years.
Right.
No one knows better than him.
He's gone through 2 knees and a shoulder since he got the job.
And there'll be a time after we've made our selection and announced who that person is, later this spring, when they'll be able to come and spend some time with Brian to really kind of pass that baton a little bit. So there'll be an opportunity for them to sit down together and really talk about the nuts and bolts of running the Wenatchee School District.
And Brian has given a hard date, right? He said, on this date, I'm no longer going to be the superintendent. Is that correct? So there's not going to be an interim thing where I'll hang around till you hire somebody. He's gone at a certain date. So is that correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, there is a contract end date, yes.
Okay.
And it's my understanding that by state law, we can't technically have 2 superintendents at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, but there will be that transition phase. And, Brian is just a tremendous leader. And like Sarah said, has been our leader for close to 20 years. So he's got a lot of institutional knowledge. I would suspect even after this person starts that they're going to be checking in with Brian periodically and looking maybe for some guidance.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've maybe all had that experience when we've left a job. You might get that call or text or an email. Like,
where's the stapler?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sarah, I'm going to give you the last word, because the final decision is going to be the school board, the final interviews, all that stuff. In the short time we have left, what are you looking for a new superintendent?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you. I really want to hear from the community, so I don't want to negate that. I don't have any set. I want to serve, operate within the job description designed by the community. That being said, some of my top qualities are someone who is motivated to push for the positive changes that we need to keep trying to make. Someone who really understands our valley with almost 50% of our students speaking Spanish. We need someone who can communicate and understand a school district like ours that we have 2 languages being spoken.
Thanks first of all, congratulations on your new job, and keep up the good work. Diana,
yes.
Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for bringing Sarah.
I
did not know Sarah was coming. Diana showed up.
I roped her in.
It's Sarah Knox, too.
We're full of surprises.
Full of surprises. Everybody have a great weekend. Go Cougars. All right, knock off the Ducks. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.